Hey, you guys, welcome to my channel. Life Speaking Food. Good food for every soul and a word for every heart. Hey, it's Chef Dolores here. And today, you guys, we are going to be making Salmon Wellington. I made this before for my brother-in-law for his birthday. So my sister was like, make that. That was really good. So there are so many things you can do with salmon. You can smoke it, you can grill it, you can air fry it. We're going to bake it. And when I think of Wellington, I think of beef Wellington, where you take a filet mignon and you wrap it inside of a puff pastry. That is what we're doing, but we're using salmon. So the most important thing is that we got to have a topping. So we're going to make a cream spinach. And remember, every ingredient matters. So we're going to be using fresh Parmesan, real deal. Yes, from a garden, or you can go to the store and buy dill, not down the aisle. So that is so important to get fresh ingredients. And garlic, not the garlic in the jar. So we're going to do our spinach, cream spinach. It's going to go right on top of the salmon. It's going to be very simple. Very, very simple. We do not need a big piece of fish because once it cooks, you're going to have all this inside of this pastry dough. So yes, chefs know how to make pastry dough, but we will not be making pastry dough today. I will do one of my shows on making pastry dough. That's important. So we will not be making the pastry dough, but we are going to de-skin the salmon. We're going to season it, but I'm going to marinate it overnight so it'll be ready in the morning. So it is today. So now let's get in the kitchen. Let's make this Salmon Wellington. When I think of Wellington, it's a main ingredient enclosed into a pastry or some sort. And it hides itself until you cut it open. And it looks so good. So let's get in the kitchen. Y'all ready? Let's get going. Let's go. Okay, you guys. So as y'all can see, I have the butter. In there is melting. So we have our ingredients here. We have our spinach, coarse salt and pepper, garlic, onions, breadcrumbs that I had from some bread that I froze. So I like to use my own bread. And some fresh dill. We have cream cheese and we have fresh Parmesan. So remember, it has to be fresh Parmesan, not the kind in the bag. You have to get the kind that you shave. It's a little expensive, but if you want it to turn out properly, you'll get this kind. So let's get, I always mix with my butter. I always put a little oil in there, and this is avocado oil that I'm using. Okay, so let's turn this up a little bit. We're going to let that melt down. So we're making the spinach first. That's going to go on top of the salmon. So it's very simple. You can use just to eat it as a cream spinach for a side dish. It's really simple. It's not hard. Now, this garlic, I had 2 cloves of garlic that I minced up. Do not buy the garlic in the jar. So the flavors are so important if you get the right ingredients. The one in a jar, it takes away all the potency of the garlic, if that makes sense. And then you have your fresh dill here. So a lot of places have fresh dill. Don't go down the aisle and get the dry leaf. You won't have that flavor in there. So that is important. So breadcrumbs, personally, if you go to a bakery, they will sell old bread, which you can take home and toast it, crumble it up, and you can use it for like your meatballs or your meatloaf or whatever you want to use breadcrumbs in. So just try and get true ingredients. And we do have our cream cheese, the cheaper brand that you get. Well, you get what you pay for. And we talk just about the Parmesan. So if it's not a block of Parmesan, then it's not going to come out right because there are so many additives mixed into the ones that's in the bag. I never buy cheese from a bag. So we're going to get our onions in here. There we go. And you know, you can go home and do the exact recipe, but will make yours come out so differently if you go the route that's easier, like the bag of cheese, the minced garlic that's in the jar, regular panko breadcrumbs, and dried dill. So you want your spinach to taste really well. You want to taste all of the ingredients because, like I said, all the ingredients matter. They matter. All right. So we have our onion in there. And we're going to let this cook for about until they get wilted, like 3 or 5 minutes or so. And you guys see how small they're cut? So you don't want no big chunks of onion and garlic because it won't cook evenly. So you want your food to cook evenly. That's important. So let's take some coarse salt and pepper. So remember, with cheeses like Parmesan, it has some sodium in it. So you don't want to over season the spinach because remember, our salmon is going to be seasoned, and I actually marinated my salmon overnight. So we don't want to over season it. Sometimes it's hard to taste your food until after it's completely done. So this looks like a lot of spinach, but it's not. And we really don't need a lot for the top this dish off. So our spinach goes in there. I don't like a lot of mess. I told you guys about that. I like to clean as I go. so we're just going to get this folded in there. So now we're going to put the dill in there. That goes our fresh dill. Breadcrumbs. So spinach has a lot of liquid in it. So doesn't matter what order you put in for this, but the most important thing is that you want to make sure that you are sweating your onions and garlic. So this is really easy. It's not hard, you guys. Really easy. But it's also important too to get the right type of cooking pans or skillets when you're cooking. If you get something, like I said, that's really cheap, the food is not really going to cook evenly. So this may look like a hot mess right now, but it's going to look good. Y'all see. So I put a soft cheese in here with the hard cheese. So the Parmesan is the hard cheese, and the cream cheese is the soft cheese. So we're just going to let this cook down for a bit. So the breadcrumbs in there is also going to give it some texture. Ooh, my words today. So you guys see how that looks? Don't worry, it's going to come together. And this looks like a lot that we're going to put on top of the salmon, but we'll see how we spread it out when it's time. So once I get all of this melted on here, like the big cheese that's hanging out somewhere in there, and I'm moving it around a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and put this to the side. Smells good. And you know what? I like this also with trout. You can take a filet trout and do this as well. It depends on the type of fish, your choice. I don't cook tilapia. I'm not a fan of that fish, if that's what you want to call it, but I'm not a fan of that. So that's it, you guys. This is it. This is our cream spinach that's going to go on top of the salmon. And we're just going to let that sit for a while. And we're going to get this pulled aside here. Get it off the heat. And we're going to go ahead and prepare our salmon. Stand by. Okay, you guys, so this is my salmon. So I marinated it overnight with some coarse black pepper, as you can see, garlic, a little lemon juice, and just a little bit of turmeric just for color. And I removed the skin. So this little part has a little meat, but that's okay. So if you see here on the back, this is the salmon. The skin has been removed. So it's important to remove the skin when you're doing this particular recipe. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit more coarse salt and pepper on both sides. You don't need too much, just a little. Now, this is the puff pastry I was telling you guys about. All store-bought. So, all right. So we have this in the center. So that's important. And this, you guys see it. It is the spinach. We're going to put this right on top. We're going to pound it down as much as we can. I don't know. I may have some left over. We'll see. It's always good to have more than less. More than less is better. And you want to put it end to end. Very important. End to end. Because you want to get that spinach in every area. You want to pat it down. Oh, that looks good, but we're going to bring it together. Okay, so all we're going to do now, I'm going to take both ends of this, flip that over just like that. Make sure you get your puff pastry room temperature. Flip that over just like that. So what's on top? The spinach is on top, right? So we already have it on a parchment paper and a sheet pan. So we're just going to move that into the middle. We're just going to seal this off. just like this, and we're going to flip it over first. So let's flip this over just like that, and we're going to tuck and cut. I think I'm going to cut. I just want to cut a little of this off here. I don't like too much dough in my dishes. And we're just going to tuck it underneath just like that. That's one tuck. Let's see if we got a little over here. Just going to pull some of this dough away. So just make sure that your puff pastry dough is room temperature. So let it sit out for about a good 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. And you see how I just tucked that right underneath? Just like that. See how easy that is? Now, what we're going to do is called scoring it, right? So we flipped it over, so you know what's on top now. It is the salmon. Okay, so I'm just going to score, 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 score. Going on an angle here. Then I'm going to go the other direction. Score, score, score. It's all for presentation, I think. And it allows it, too, to kind of separate a little bit, too. All right, you guys. So now, that is what this egg wash is for. We're going to brush it on there. Make sure you get it all over the puff pastry. So important. All over. All on the sides. All around. Now, if you don't want to cut your ends, that's fine. You don't have to do it, but I just did it for me. Some people just take the ends and they just tuck them under. That is it. So, you know how fast salmon can cook, but it's housed inside of this dough that we have here. We're going to cook this at 425 for about 20 minutes. We're going to keep an eye on it because once it gets golden brown, we're going to take it out and let it rest for a while. And then we'll cut it open and we'll see how it looks. So let's get this in the oven. Okay, you guys. So, you see the scoring there? Nice golden brown. So, it's so important. We're going to let this sit for a while before we even cut it. So, stand by for my plate presentation. Okay, you guys. This is the salmon. You guys enjoy. Let me go. Let me go in every way. Let me slide off your lips and never to be mentioned again. Let my scent be gone from every dwelling place that we ever shared together. Even the aftermath of our foreplay be banished. Let me go out of you and your thoughts. Never remember my name, my laugh, my voice, my face. For if you let me go, we will get better separately.